Good morning. My name is Lucky Lee, and I would like to thank you for coming out early this morning to talk about mental health in the cosplay community and in the BLERD community as a whole. I'm going to start with a brief disclaimer. Not I nor any of my panelists are doctors. We are not here to give you medical advice. We encourage you to speak to a professional if you're in need of advice or just because I'm very pro therapy. This is an open conversation. It's intended to open dialect. We'll be speaking from experience, and we'll take a few minutes at the end to have questions and correspondence. So if you have anything to add, please hold your responses until that point. We appreciate you. Brief introduction from everyone. Like I said, my name is Luxury Leah. I myself am neurodivergent. I have ADHD, something I found out later in life. I also have a nephew who has autism, and he opened me up to people that are on the spectrum, and which has made me hyper aware of just my surroundings a lot of times and how I interact with people. And that's one of the reasons why this is important to me, having safe spaces and making sure everybody feels comfortable and valid. That's kind of why I decided I wanted to do this panel. I will shift it over to Hero.
Good morning, folks. My name is James or Hero. I have a multitude of friends and family that have, mental health issues or mental health crisis as they get older or when they're younger. I've been going through prevention since I was 16 years old. Now I'm in my 30s, and I've seen the importance of people being able to find a community and have a safe space around them, especially at cons. Even you think in general that people are alone in their life and they come to cons and they're still alone. So being able to bridge that gap and help them with that, talk to them, it can do a lot for folks.
All right, Dash, you take it.
Yes, so my name is DeLon Thompson, but I'm also known as Dash and D Weatherford, the artist formerly known as Dash, different variations of that. I actually used to work as a counselor with a nonprofit group called Volunteers of America out in New York. And from that work, I always just knew that mental health is always an important issue. A lot of different things regarding many issues in the world is usually from, I feel, with mental health issues not being the focus of it, and then it turns into other things that becomes the focus instead of working on the actual mental health. So this panel, again, was something that I am passionate about as for just familiarity with working with the field, but then also even within my own experiences. I've had multiple family members that had an array of mental health issues ranging from bipolar, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideations, and things of that nature. And then even myself have even suffered with anxiety, depression, and things of that nature. So, it's just good to have that conversation and, like you said, bridge that gap for individuals. For when you go out to crowded places and you can feel alone and things like that, you just can have a safe space to talk about these things and feel better and feel connected and whatnot.
Okay. What about you, David Walker? Can you please introduce yourself? That would be for the people in the back. Welcome in, new people.
Thank you.
Good morning, Grand Rising. I'm Devon Thomas, also known as Legend of the Day Walker from Brooklyn. In my professional experience, I'm constantly around an array of mental health issues. So personally, I hone in on signs, symptoms very early. So I allow myself to be like a kind of a big brother within our cosplay community, because whatever you do, regardless, we're all combined by a cosplay circle of life. So we all have that for us, and we can all speak. I offer myself constantly for that, making sure that individuals are safe within the community while they're doing their thing. I align myself to be that vessel. And, yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you. I agree. That's super important for me. I actually started a Facebook group, and I actually like to think of it as a community where we can express ourselves and everybody is included. So for the cosplay and BLERD community, it attracts people of all walks. We all walk to a beat of our own drum. Being different a lot of times can make you feel other, can make you feel less than, and that's something that I think should bring us together, but a lot of times we still be bullying each other. I find that, but that's just my personal opinion. What are some ways we can support each other within the community? I live by you never know what somebody is going through. So instead, when I'm approached by somebody with maybe their body language is off, I can sense that they might be, hi beautiful, welcome. Maybe they might be a little awkward. I just empathize, and I always try to remember you never know what somebody's going through. So even me, people see me online and they might think I have a big personality, but sometimes in my head I'm anxious. or my ADHD got me super focused on one thing, and I'm not interacting with them in a way that they can understand, and they might think, oh, she bougie, she this and that. Not because my mental illness doesn't present in a way that they would expect for that. Just hold that thought. So I'm just wondering, like, from your opinion, what are some ways that we can effectively communicate with each other and support one another? Well, first of all, let you introduce yourself. Good morning.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm late for a reason that affects my mental health too. I have a chronic health condition, and I can't help when it flares up, and it flared up this morning. The tears are from the condition, not because I'm late. Sorry.
So you're happy to see us.
I am. Actually. But my name is Lady J. I've been cosplaying since 2011. I'm a cosplayer from Philadelphia. Okay. I make 80% of my cosplays, and I also own 2 conventions myself.
Welcome, ladies. We're happy to have you. Very happy to have you. Back to like being a support in the community. Like he said, making yourself maybe a big sister or a big brother, or a little sister or a little brother, and recognizing people. I remember at one point I learned sign language just because I wanted to be the person in the room that could speak. I didn't learn it as much as good as I used to, but I just wanted to be somebody that people could talk to when they were in the room. I got on people who were deaf nerves because I would just start talking to them. They'd be like, damn, you're not even that good. But you know, just making myself a part of the experience that they might be going through. Well, let's take it from here and work it on down. So, Dear Walker, would you like to add?
I just want to go back into what I was saying about being like that big brother, and also what I said about noticing early signs. Within the cosplay community, there's different types of genres and things that you can get into in cosplay. I want to talk about something that I noticed with the young ladies. Now, if I know a young lady, or maybe I don't, but let's say in this case I know her, and I can immediately see that she's uncomfortable while she's taking a picture, I immediately make myself known. I'll go over there, hey, how's it going? And let her know that somebody's there, and if she's feeling uncomfortable by whomsoever she's taking the picture with, letting them know that somebody's there. Not in an aggressive way, I try to be easy, but in a positive way.
So when it comes to being a support, exactly like you said, sometimes it's just being alert, making sure that you can, good morning, welcome guys. It just actually always being available. One of the things that I actually do is, because I don't always get to go to the cons and things of that nature, and then I have my background. What I usually do is sometimes, you know, folks will give simple outcries for help every so often. You know, maybe it's a post online or anything like that, or maybe, you know, on her group she does check-ins, and people will actually sometimes put how they're feeling and things. And when I have the time and availability, I'll try to connect with them and let them know, hey, there's resources out there. Like especially in New York, I'll let them know, you know, you can call this hotline. That'll be available for you. If there's mental health services, I'm always an advocate for making sure that you have a therapist. You know, in the Black community, therapy originally was like such a shunned thing, and honestly it works wonders. That dial a friend is amazing because you can just go in there and you can blurt out whatever, and it's non-judgmental. They'll poke out the little bit of holes and then have you rethinking in such a way, because the mind is just, it's a beautiful thing, but it can also feel like a prison, and that is one of the worst things when your most powerful weapon feels like it's working against you. So I like to just always reach out, be supportive, let people know that, hey, there's a way, there's methods, and there's and even at that point, if they just want to vent, like I'll sit there and we'll have that conversation for a bit. Because again, it's just about togetherness, making you feel connected, making you realize that it's worth having more days, because what you're feeling right now, it is temporary, and as long as you stay in the fight, it gets better.
For me, it's like being available, and you never know when, you know, your interaction with someone can be the interaction that saves their life, literally. You know, I try to make a point to when I engage with folks to have a positive encounter, whether it's just a hello, you know, like the cosplay, you know, like the shoes, like shirt, whatever, things like that. You know, that one good interaction can be the difference between them going home and them going to that final home, you know. So I try to make a point to talk to people in passing, at conventions, out in the streets, because you never know. And having that small conversation could be the difference for anyone and everyone.
So I do a couple things. A smile's always free, You never know, just a smile. You don't even have to say something to people sometimes. It's a wonderful thing. But when I have a guest spot at a convention, I always announce that my table is a safe space, and if anybody feels uncomfortable for any way, they could come see me. And I also do that online. I say you can reach out. My inboxes are always open, and I try to answer every message because you just never know which message is the one for help. And cosplay makes it so easy to open up because you could physically see that you have something in common with somebody. And that also can help with dialogue. So if you see somebody with a sad face, but you know their cosplay, you can just start talking to them about their cosplay, and then they may open up by what's bothering them. So it's just communication, like Leah said, it's like the key. Just let people know you're open, and that smile lets people know that you're open without even saying a word.
Thank you. I love that. I'm actually gonna start implementing that. I never said that. Like, hey, this is my table. Y'all can know it's a safe space. I expect y'all to know that. It's all love. But going back to like how we interact with each other, self-esteem and confidence can be impacted from just the vision that you have of yourself. Somebody else will be like, oh, you're beautiful, you're amazing, I love you. People like my friend here, he's like, oh, you're a cop. I'm like, it's not good enough. I gotta do this, gotta do that, because I'm in my own head. So it's good to have a support system. However, I think the way that some, like, with the online community, and even with, like, as we interact with each other, we could be some tough critics, and it can be hard to have self-confidence. So I wanted to know as well, like, for my panelists and myself, what are some of the ways that we maintain our mental health and just our confidence as we move forward in the society?
I maintain my mental health. I got into martial arts when I was 3 years old. What do you know at 3? I made the conscious decision to take it seriously. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
I made the conscious decision to take it seriously at age 5. And this helped me through a lot of rough times. I'm 48, so I grew up in the hard time of Brooklyn. So just being surrounded in a lot of negative things that was going on. Martial arts was my safe place, and it saved me from a lot of things going on. Fast forward to today, cosplay is my safe place, and I can honestly say cosplay saved my life from being bored, depressed, and all of that. I date back to a time when it was called costumers. I'm pretty sure Lady J can remember that. For those that don't know, before cosplay got into play, me personally, I had to find my own place within the community because nobody got what I was doing. I was one of the first just to do one character, and that's by choice. My cos persona is Blade, and I lived through that and personify myself through the character. No one knew what to do with me at that time because, like I said, I was only doing the one character. And they didn't get it. So I had to stop chasing everybody's light and create my own. I live in my own bubble of creativity, so it's a rarity that I come up for here. I'm doing my own thing. And you never know who you're inspiring when you do that. I have, all praise due, I have people that'll DM me and say, like my own personal slogan, sort of in their perspective language. That means the world to me. I tell cosplayers all the time, it's not how many followers you have, it's who's following you. I've been blessed to meet a lot of people that inspire me to do the things that I do, and in my own mind, I'm like, I'm just this kid from Brooklyn. But people are seeing you, so always stay humble and true to yourself. Chase the love, chase the journey, and everything else will follow from there. Peace.
I'm just gonna piggyback. Just remember, Captain America was also just a kid from Brooklyn.
I say it proudly.
That too. For me, it's an act of work every day. I have put myself in a lot of positions in where I'm constantly criticized. I'm also a pro wrestler, so that is hyper superficial and critical in so many different realms. Cosplay has always been like a great level of escapism, but like Leah said, self-esteem becomes very important. And I give myself a daily practice. I give myself affirmations because I've always allowed myself to be in the outcast spaces, not really following the norm, going against the grain. And to do that, I've had to really give myself that pat on the back. I had to be proud of myself. I had to celebrate myself. And then I also had to kind of look at myself and say, no, you're good. No, you have what it takes. And the more I believed in myself and kind of went forward, then that's when I also started kind of receiving that back. So sometimes it really is just remembering it does start with you. So I gave myself a practice. Again, I'm involved. My physical fitness is important to me. My mental health is important to me. I'll work with therapists. I'll work with a personal trainer if possible. Learning as much as, and just letting myself being kind of like an open vessel. But it only for positivity. And as I kind of fuel myself, it allows me to recharge that battery and then surround myself with others that will pour back into me as well as I pour out to them. And that right there just kind of gives me all of the energy, and then that becomes shared among everyone else. So self-esteem really becomes an important thing. But again, it's a practice, and I say, find all the tools and find the things that work with you. Daily affirmations are a great thing. Writing little positive messages to yourself. Those things have been really immaculate practices to make me go further, even when I didn't feel like I wanted to.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I find that cosplay is a part of my self-esteem building because it gives me the opportunity to do self-expression, and that brings me joy. So little things that bring me joy, they move me forward. And self-esteem is about yourself, how you feel about yourself. So excluding the opinions of other people, like being on social media and just interacting how we move in the world. Everybody has an opinion, but that doesn't mean that it's important. I appreciate it, and I honor it, but my opinion is the one that will validate me ultimately. Right. And that I strive forward knowing that I do things that I enjoy, that make me feel good about myself and about how I interact with other people. So I want to know what Hero and Lady have to add to that.
So for me, I think it's important to be a little selfish. It's just a little selfish, You can't help people if you're drowning yourself. So it's very important to take time to celebrate the smallest milestones. As Nate knows right here in his orange sweatsuit, I drag him out to celebrate everything, birthdays or whatever. I'm like, hey, we're going so and so, just because, we always look at the finish line. I want to be at XYZ. But in the journey to there, we don't stop to celebrate getting to the halfway point. We want to make six figures, but we get to 75,000 and we don't celebrate that. We were at 20,000 last year, but we didn't think about that. So we gotta, it's easy to get down on yourself saying I'm not there yet, but you don't look back to see where you were just last week, just last year. Your life can change so fast. A year's a long time, in a short time all in the same. So be selfish a little bit and celebrate you. And when you do that, you can pour into others, because when your cup's full, you can hand out stuff. You can't pour from an empty glass. And we get caught up in that, especially trying to, be available, as we were saying. But you're not available if you're not actually engaged and not present. I can't sit here and tell you, hey, do this, that, and third while I'm in my brain, not really listening to what you're saying. I'm just responding instead of hearing you. So be a little selfish, because you're your star player. You can't save everyone always if you're not saving yourself. So take the time, love you, whatever you do hobby-wise, make time for it. It's easy to get caught in the grind. Grind's good, grind a little bit, but take the time to heal. Because when you're grinding forever, you'll burn out and then you'll stop. And it's anything, cosplaying, work, hobbies. If you grind forever, you'll burn out, and then you're back at step one every time. Instead of taking those little steps, I'll do this for 40 hours, 80 hours, and then take a break and enjoy yourself, because why are we working if we're not enjoying it? I'm making all this money, but I'm not doing anything with it. Worthless. So take time, be selfish.
That's just remind me of the saying, you recharge your phone, recharge your personal battery. But it's also important to remember that you're going to have doubt. Like, you don't have to have your self-esteem 24/7 and then beat yourself up if you lose it for a second. You just have to remember to come out of it and find your ways to come out of it. As somebody, part of my chronic condition is my weight will fluctuate crazy. I could try on a costume the night before and go to put it on the next day and it don't fit. So I had to learn to adjust quickly. And us cosplayers, I may have stayed up all night to make that cosplay and then be pissed because it don't fit right. Then I had to adjust it. I remember I was going to be Spider-Girl, And I put it on. I said, I look like I'm pregnant. I said, you know what? Peter just knocked up Mary Jane. I'm pregnant. And I went, and I was the only person that thought that. Nobody at the con that they thought that. Even though self-esteem doesn't matter, it's just an example of how you can be your own worst enemy. So just remember not to be so hard on yourself and to find ways to bring yourself back up if you're a little bit down, because things can cause depression, and it doesn't have to be chronic depression where you have medicine for it, but everyday depression, and you just have to find what brings you joy to bring yourself out of it. That's cosplay, that's talking to your friends, that's watching a TV show, watching a video. Just remember to find your self-care and remember to recharge your battery.
Can I answer?
Sure.
I remember in my earlier stages, one of the things that bothered me, like I said earlier, I didn't fit into the norm of what was going on, and I almost crashed and burned out. But I had to dig within self, and I told self, I'm an artist, and I'm an artist of different types of art forms. So for me, I combined my martial arts. I was already performing. I combined that with it, and I dubbed myself a cos performing artist, and that worked for me. I created my own lane, not worried about what was going on. So if anybody is having problems or feeling a certain way, just do what works for you. Do what works for you and combine all of that. And you create your own style, your own pattern. You're doing you. You're highlighting the best versions of you. All praise due. My cosplay, what I do, has stretched so far just by believing in myself and not paying attention to what people were saying. Another crash out for me personally, you too big to be BLERD. Really, what does that mean? Because people get the picture of what it looks like in the movies. I never wanted to look like that. I wanted to do my own thing. In my world, this is how it looked. So later for the norm, I did what self wanted to do, and it was the best move that I could have ever made. I had no idea that it would take me to so far and be on so many platforms outside of cosplay. That's the powerful part for me. So at the end of the day, I'm always thankful, all praise due, because without his guidance, I wouldn't be able to do nothing that I do. So again, all praise due.
The thing of you don't look like the character, as long as you think you look like the version of the character you want to look like, that's what's important, and that's part of that self-esteem. I mean, a lot of us in this room is never going to look like some of the characters that's drawn, and that don't matter. As long as you look like, I love Gambit. I would be Gambit all day, every day. Is Gambit a girl? No. Is Gambit black? No. It is to me, and then don't call me female Gambit, because I'm Gambit. Okay. So it's yourself. That's part of how you see yourself and what's important to you. And us plus size cosplayers, how many plus size characters is it out there? Exactly. Yeah. So it's how you see yourself. I do Yellow Ranger as well as Leah, and we've both met the Yellow Ranger, but I got bullied online. I don't know if you guys remember Power Rangers, but Rita used to make the Monsters girl. Somebody thought it was funny to say, oh, Rita made the Rangers girl. I said, how you cute. What was funny, but what I didn't need, online bullies, just remember this. You either ignore them, because they're not going to be that tough in person. They would never say it to you in person.
They really are.
You could try to kill them with kindness, but only once. They only get one comment from you because they're not worth your energy. That's part of mental health. Not worth your energy. And third, Karen, the Yellow Ranger, wrote, oh, I think she looks more phenomenal. Shut them right up. It was hilarious. So, but what was most important is I'll rock this spandex anytime I want. I don't care what my weight is, because I want to look like the character I love. I fell in love with. And that's all that's important. We all spend too much money not to like what we put on and not to like how we look in it. So just remember.
Thank you. Some great panelists. These are some amazing cosplayers and just humans overall. So I'm an advocate for therapy. I've gotten a lot of tools from therapy to help me just process through life, even getting comfortable with my uncomfortableness. Like a lot of times I have to tell people I'm not comfortable with this, I'm miserable. And instead of feeling bad about it, like that's just how it is. And I'm okay with that, but people around you, they're not necessarily okay with that. They're like, I want you to be happy all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. I'm gonna be miserable right now, but it's okay, it'll pass, things will pass. So I come to the understanding that just like every storm shall pass. Some last longer than the other, they hit stronger than the others, but they always pass. I wanted to tell you some of the some of my experience. So I advocate for a good diet, physical exercise, therapy. There are resources. There's free therapy if you have, while you still have opportunity to do so. I'm going to state of the union for now, but get you so. Breaking up and disrupting the norm. I love to travel. I love to get away. I love going to cons. I love meeting new people. If that's your thing, not your thing, then your thing. Insert your thing. Breaking up the norm though, being creative and genuine, surrounding yourself with good people, but also being a decent human, that's important as well, and having a healthy relationship with yourself. Of course, establishing boundaries. Everybody can't treat you any type of way. Remove yourself from situations that don't serve you. I think that goes without saying, but sometimes we forget because we get comfortable. But that's important too. But the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have, and that will directly reflect on every other relationship that you have. But even more than that, yeah, finding your tribe, finding yourself is top tier value to me. What are some of your add-ons to how we can, okay.
All right, so speaking of finding your tribe, we at one point were just yapping together on TikTok Live. Leia would go live, we'd all get on there, and we talk just like this, and here we are now in person doing the same thing for everyone. So when you find people that you can relate and bond with, take opportunity, because good friends, great friends are rare, and even more rare in our community, in this community of our community. So you have this micro communities, and you find people that you can bond with and click with, latch on, go together, talk to each other, one another. I just recently started getting back into wrestling. Leia happens to love wrestling, and she was cosplaying the wrestler that I started watching wrestling for. When I saw it, I'm like, this is perfect. And then now, we're friends now. We talk about wrestling here and there. It's good to have people that help you, ignite your passions.
Yes.
It's something that I had to let die, and now that it's back alive, I'm loving it again. I had no idea that I had missed it so much. I didn't realize it.
Welcome back.
So when you it's important to let your passions blaze. If they die, and you can reignite them, enjoy yourself. Do things that you love doing. Having friends to bond with, whether it's gaming or wrestling or fitness, it's way different than doing it by yourself. Even though we all love a good single player game, but playing a single player game with your friends at the same time over Discord or on the phone, whatever, it's still a great experience. Because especially now when you have decision games, I chose this, I said that, and what happened with that. It's having people to enjoy stuff with is great, and if you can find it, fine. If you can't find it, we're here. Bond with us, and then we will do it with you. So there's no reason to be alone. We're up here. Come talk to us. See some cons. Come say hi. For sure.
For sure.
I'm on day walker though, so I feel loaded up.
Go on.
All right, fine. So one of my favorite things to do about, as far as like with self-esteem, finding your tribe, and all of these things, is I use a mantra. It was something that someone gave to me, and it was, and so what? Just literally a prompt, and so what? It is something that you gotta use, and you gotta be careful how you use it, because you need to give yourself a level of consideration as well. But that and so what is like, this person said something negative about me, and so what? Or I'm faced with this challenge, and so what? I still need to get up and do what I gotta do. That and so what prompt has been a very powerful tool for me, and I wanted to share that again, because what I've learned is I have great friends, and I also have friend groups, and the reason that I have to have those friend groups is that I've learned to be unapologetically me. I've learned to just kind of create, like a man Daywalker said, you create that own lane for yourself, and sometimes that's the best way to find your tribe. I met Leia hanging out at a party I went to, and I didn't know anyone. And we became great friends. As I met Daywalker, as I'm meeting Hero, as I'm meeting Lady J, I am just letting myself get that disruption to be out of my element. Or rather, I should say out of my comfort zone and in my element, because cosplay is one of my elements. And it's just been following that passion selfishly, and going after those things, and having that relationship with myself to feel very empowered, and being like, hey, this is what I want to do. I won't wait for everyone else to get on board. I'll do it. And then I found so many people with a like mind. So like when we talk about finding community, finding tribes, sometimes follow yourself and your passions first. Have that relationship with yourself first. And the more you are being truly you, you will attract the others around you. And before you know it, you're either building your own community before you even find yourself in other communities. So I encourage everyone, find those things that are very much that you're in tune with, that are calling you, that trip you've been thinking about taking, that, thing that you've been like, I want to give it a shot, go after it. Because once you go on those adventures and those journeys, you find so much more. And you might even find out, maybe you don't like it, but you might even meet so many cool people along the way that can either ignite, like Hero said. He left wrestling, wasn't cool to him. Then he found himself like immersed back into it just because of, the way it goes off. So like at cons, again, talk to people, say hi. You guys are already connected on the fandom. If you're in cosplay, like I can see my man right here, he's got the Tenju. I love Demon Slayer. I'm rocking with you, bro. JoJo over here, rocking with you too. Like I know I'm gonna be able to talk to these guys later, and we gonna be cool. Like that is just already a precursor. So sometimes, like I met a young girl last night, and she was saying like she was afraid to talk to people. I'm like, we're already connected. You like my cosplay? As soon as you giving me that compliment, yo, we can talk. Like the icebreaker's already there.
Yeah,
So,
Finding your tribe. Been doing it for a while. So I'm a loner. Always been that way, but I'm an open loner, if that makes sense. I always go to cons by myself and travel by myself. And I find my tribe just by finding that one person in the corner, just patiently by themselves swinging their nunchucks. While everybody's just focused on the costumes and standing still, it'll be that one guy over there just swinging his nunchucks, and I'm like, and immediately I know, and I go over there, and then we click. So that's how I find my tribe and find people that's into what I do, and that's how it happened for me.
It can be harder for some people who are neurodivergent, speaking for myself, to interact with people. It can be easy to be like, yeah, just go over there and say hi. Like that could be like, like Tevin Campbell, he can't even take that step. So it's not that easy for everybody. And it's also, you have to like recognize those signs in people, because sometimes you might have to be the one to bridge the gap, because you can usually tell when somebody's shy, a little awkward, or to themselves. I'm drawn to those people. I like the others. I like the neurodivergent. Before I even knew what it was, I just had a connection to those people. They always would come up to me and talk to me. Hey, it's a rainbow. I'm like, okay, and I feel for them. So I want them to feel just the way I feel. I want to feel as comfortable in the space as I feel in the space. And there are some signs, and then there are times when, I'm not gonna lie, before my nephew came into my life and I understood what autism was, I would be approached by people. Sometimes I'll be standoffish because I'm a woman. I've been objectified my whole life. Somebody's always trying to get me. So I'm always on point. But then when coming into understanding of what autism is, doing the research, really understanding even my interactions with people, I understand like sometimes it's just a social awkwardness, and I try to be hyper aware of that. So when people approach me, I have a little more patience, and I want to encourage people to have the same type of patience. So that I have a lot of people in my group who are on the spectrum, and oftentimes they'll tell me that they had an interaction with somebody and they made them feel uncomfortable. Now that affects their mental health and how they proceed to move forward and talk to other people, and that wasn't even their intention. So I don't know, I try to find myself especially like as a leadership role in that group, to be like an admin and like, hey, and try to represent for them and try to direct them to how to communicate better, but it's not as easy for some people. How are you guys interacting with people who approach you who might be on the spectrum or might have mental illness, and what are some ways that we can interact with them so we can feel more comfortable? Anybody want to try that?
I know sometimes too, some people don't realize they invade personal space.
Right.
So you just try to give yourself some personal space without making them feel, like not jumping back, but just stepping back a little bit and say hi, like give them a chance to talk. Because you do have to be careful for yourself as well, but you don't want to frighten somebody who didn't mean to frighten you. So just try to remember that, because I know personal space is hard when somebody is too much in your own personal space, to just take that step back and think like, maybe they don't realize it. Let me take a step back and talk to them. Also, sometimes people will hover and don't say anything, and that can make you feel a little awkward. Just say something. if they hover, or if you see them back around, they might be too scared to just say, I like your cosplay. Sometimes they're intimidated and you don't even realize that you're being intimidated because you're not normally, but to them you are, because they think so highly of something that you have on, or the character you have, or just anything. So just try to be that voice. If you notice something, just think kind first before you think fear. Try to.
Anyone, all my actual real life friends know me. They always say that I aggressively recruit my friends. And I do. I used to be, a little withdrawn, but I learned, like we were saying, so people just can't, they don't know how to quite bridge that first gap. So I do it with intent, and then I keep them around, and it's good. It's good to have, if you can realize that someone is, wants to talk or open dialogue, but they can't quite do it. Like we were saying, we're wearing the icebreakers. It's easy to say, hey, how are you? Having a good time at your con, things like that. It's your first Blerdcon, you're having a good time, yada yada yada. Small talk, and then once you get people going, they go. You did the one step, and then the dam has let loose, and they're spilling at you, they're talking, they're having a good time. So it's to be warm and welcome, be open, and like I said, like you were saying, you never don't know how people communicate. They can be nervous, be afraid, all kinds of things. So for a lot of people, seeing someone that they might think is like real popular because they're a cosplayer, right? And having them engage with you first can change their whole day, their whole perspective, how they believe. Because they talk to me. Maybe it's not that bad, But in reality, I'm just a dude. I can't see. I'm wearing contacts. I don't know who you are. I can't see you anyway.
Right.
But it's all right. I'm here for it. So it's just taking some time out to understand where people maybe at in their lives can go forever.
So quickly.
Go ahead. No, it's just a thought. It was gonna be when I first met you. Like, we geeked out for each other. And
I was a fan.
Me too.
Some people will be my friend in my head before I even meet them.
And that sometimes is also intimidating. But for us, it just was like, and we hug. Yes. But just try to remember that you may think you can be just as nervous or to meet somebody as they are to meet you. That alone can make an awkward situation. But kindness, like you said, just somebody taking that first is all you need.
And also, I just want to add, it's okay to be uncomfortable and express that. And I don't want to talk right now. Just having that communication can help someone who is on the spectrum or who has mental illness, because maybe they don't know. So sometimes you just gotta tell them, like. So sometimes people come in for a hug, and I don't feel comfortable hugging them. And I'm like, I do a handshake. I don't care if you just saw me hug Tom over there. I don't want to hug you. We get a handshake, and then they'll be fine with that because I'm expressing, I'm setting a boundary, and it has to be respected because there's no other way. And that's how we're going to interact. And if I feel more comfortable, we'll go further. But that's where we are right now, and that's fine as well.
So for me, real quick, when people approach me, I'm a fan first, so I fan out right with them. When people will come up to you and they're actually seeing, that's my
Fred.
I look over. That's our elder right there.
Right. Fred has inspired me to do what I do. Love you, Fred. Love you to life, man. Also, I'm a fan first, so when people come up to me and they're spewing those lines, I'll give it right back to them. Quotes from their favorite parts and scenes of the movie, and then that'll like open up a whole door. So I love being that right on the moment. I'm the type of cosplayer where I'll constantly just be in character, like that whole time. But that's fun for me and it works for me, and I've learned how to connect with people through that because of that, Just have fun with your journey, that's all. In closing for me.
Thank you so much. If you have a question or you want to add something, would you raise your hand so I can know? Yeah.
I'm an LPC, licensed professional counselor here in Virginia. I also do relationship coaching. I have cards. I don't want to
No, by all means, yes. Those resources are important.
Say everybody notes.
What do you have to? Do you want to add something to the conversation?
I just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys sharing this. It's awesome. I probably have some ADHD. I've just never been tested, but I am one of those people who have always neurodivergent people have always kind of come to me. So I think what you guys are doing is amazing. I think also thinking about other aspects of nerddom, D&D is something that I like RPG, role-playing games.
Yes, sir.
For social skills building. This has been awesome. I've used that with kids on the spectrum, so I think it's just awesome. But I just really appreciate you guys coming out and doing this.
Hopefully
Thank
next year
you.
you can
We
join
appreciate
us,
you as
'cause
well.
I would like to have someone who's licensed.
I also have a program, a coaching program that I put together. It's called Superpower. It's for for men to kind of help them understand how to be better in relationships. So there you go.
That
Before we
benefits
get out of
women
here,
as well.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who would like to add a question or to add something?
Questions, statements?
Go, Joe.
Yes, so I'm autistic and I'm also a pharmacist, and I got my doctorate 12 years ago. So the reason why I say this is because people are putting people who are in the neurodivergent community down, and that's not going to work. All right, and for those who feel they're down, this is what I did. I always ask myself, well, how can I fix that? And one of the other questions was, and so what? Why? What's with the negativity? You're still here. There's still an opportunity. It's still a process, but again, it's easier said than done. But one advice I want to tell people is that, actually a few advices. Have a very strong support system, because sometimes positive self-talk may not be enough. You want to have that confirmation and affirmation, and you want to have a lot of that. So that can block out all that negative noise and all that distractions. And with that, it will make you a better person. And not only it will make you a better person, you'll also keep giving positivity to other people and keep inspiring others.
Absolutely.
So I just want to share that as someone who went through a lot as a child, through the teenage years, as a rebel. I'm the oldest of 3 kids, and people criticize me for being different, and they tell me to be normal, and I ask them what is normal, and they told me what the answer was? Look at your 2 younger siblings. And I asked them, what kind of answer is that? Then again, I have a science brain, so what kind of answer is that? You have to be concrete in what you say. It's like, I don't have to tell you anything. You're supposed to figure it out. That's what they tell me. And that's not the kind of mindset to have. You have to have an open mindset and an open dialogue. Understanding is very, very important. Compassion is very, very important. And we're lacking a lot of that. And things have been getting pretty bad for a lot of us, especially for those who are minorities, for those who are LGBTQIA. That's me also, I'm asexual. For those who are neurodivergent, for those who look a little different from the majority, even if you're in the middle or whatnot, we need to love one another always and support one another always.
Hey, sweetheart, did you have a question?
Or would you distract me?
All right, so we have 5 more minutes. If there's no other questions, then we'll go ahead and close out and tell you how you can follow us. Sure, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Larry. I'm actually a former teacher.
Hi, Larry.
What's going on there?
And one thing I find that's really helped me is like whenever I'm going into because I wear a lot of X-Men apparel, I just didn't today. And one thing a friend told me is that's helped me out a lot is when I go somewhere I'm going to be in a lot of interaction, a lot of stimulation. He told me, check in with me before you go in. And I'm going to check in with you around 12 or 1, all right? And I'll say, okay, word. And even if it's a good day, he'll say, hey, Larry, why didn't you check in?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, because it was a good day. No. You don't know how late it's going to be, though.
Yeah.
I want you to be account. Can you? And I'll say, yeah, sure. Then if the interaction is sort of uncomfortable, or I feel something didn't go well, I'll say, hey, can we talk in about 2 hours? We can talk tonight, I bet. And that sort of gives me an anchor for the day. But it also has helped me in interactions because in these situations, there are some people who this is their first time ever. This is the first time they feel seen and feel agency. And they think that when they interact with us, this is the one who's going to get me over for the next year. And excuse me, that's not possible. And one thing my friend taught me too as a therapist was to connect them with other communities, ask them, this is a great talk, or this is kind of uncomfortable. Do you know anyone else here? Do you talk to any other communities? Are you on a Discord? Are you on social media? And most of the time they'll say, yeah, but I never thought to, well, let's do that now. Or I'll look around for someone I know, like you mentioned, looking for support, someone will come by and say, help us walk through this because we're going to answer to each other's prayers. We can help each other somehow.
Indeed.
And also, Jay, to add to your thing about being kind first, be safe and be kind.
Yes.
Because you don't know what people are coming with. You don't know people's energy sometimes.
Exactly.
You really don't. For the most part, it's pretty much okay.
Yeah.
But there's other times where sometimes the energy needs to be set, where there's a proper way to do this.
Yeah.
And it's a learning experience, most of all.
Exactly.
Some experiences are very difficult.
Yeah.
And some are very warm. I just want to share that with you all. And thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone that has come out today. We appreciate your time.
We'll
Please.
make it real quick.
Sure.
So, thank you all for what you have done here. I am also a therapist. I have a panel at 1 o'clock. So,
Okay.
let's continue this
Yes, let's continue the conversation.
Speaking about advocating for your children in the education system.
Thank you, beautiful. We appreciate you and what you're doing for our kids. My name is Roger Rita. This is Lady J. This is Hero. This is Dashing Hazard, and that is the Daywalker. When we go outside, you can get our socials if you need to. I have cards. I would like you to message me so I can send you the link to our Facebook group. You can become part of the community. You can find out what about her beautiful conventions that she hosts and holds, and more about these cosplayers. And we are your community. So feel free to speak to us if you see us throughout the con. We appreciate you, and I'll see if anybody has it.
Sorry, one quick thing, guys, I forgot to say. Also, some people are overstimulated. It's also okay to show them the quiet places in the con. And sometimes that can look like panic, and, you know, if you need help, if you don't know how to approach somebody that way, you can ask somebody, like, I think they might need help, and try to get them help. Because it is quiet spots in the cons for some of you guys who don't know.
If you're needing a quiet space, typically there's an anime or theater room on the bottom floor across from the little DJ and arcade area. Last summer, I was hot, I was overstimulated. I sat in there for like 45 minutes, it was wonderful. So take some time, sit down, screw it.
And one last thing for a lot of individuals, if you are struggling, you're working, please definitely reach out, get help as much as possible. One of the things that I like to keep in mind is have more days. Always have more days. You know, I always want to encourage people to think about having something every day to look forward to and the next day to look forward to. Give yourself something, that little treat, whether it's just a cookie or, you know, your favorite little moment of playing a video game or something. But give your hash browns, exactly. But always give yourself a little something, a reward for the day or something just to look forward to. Because the more you look forward to, the more you can really realize your life is always going to be worth it. So continue to have more days.
Wow. I just want to say I do teach. I teach martial arts. It costs absolutely nothing. It's free because I didn't have that outlet when I was a kid, and I couldn't afford it when I was a kid. So I teach for free. So if you're in Brooklyn, find me.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Sincerely. And thank you to our audience. You're beautiful. And
Appreciate y'all. Have a great time.
Definitely. If you see us around, definitely stop
Thank you to
us.
Blerdcon for hosting us. Huh?
Lady J,
By all means.
are you a host?
I know you're right. I go to X-Men Con and
Group photo.
All right.
I'm you guys
Can you take a quick photo?
I know a friend who runs Philly Otaku Fest.
1 second, we gotta get out of here. Lady J, can you take a quick photo?
Yeah.
And we'll talk outside so the next panelist can come in and set up. Cheese. Thank you so much. All right, yeah, we'll continue this conversation outside.